from Bundelkhand, Madhya Pradesh. But before the war, something terrible happened. King Parmal, in a moment of anger, in the late 12th century, on the dry red plateau of Bundelkhand in central India, there ruled at Mahoba a king named Parmal. He was a Chandela king, descended from the same dynasty that built the temples at Khajuraho. His court was a famous one, full of poets, astrologers, and warriors. Of all his warriors, two stood above the rest. They were two brothers from a Banafar family in the small village of Jagmanpur. The elder was named Alha. The younger was named Udal. The elder was the patient one, the strategist, the one who carried a long sword. The younger was the wild one, the one who fought with a make, the one who laughed at danger. Together, they were the kingdom's most feared fighters. Their mother was Devki. She had raised them alone after their father died in battle. She loved them more than her own life. But she also believed, the legend says, in a prophecy a sage had given her when they were boys. She had been told that both her sons would die very young, perhaps as young as 24, in a great battle defending Mahoba. They could not escape it. The only way to extend their lives, the sage said, was for the brothers to spend their childhood in the kingdom of Mahoba and their adulthood serving its king. So Devki took them to King Parmal's court. The king accepted them. And the brothers grew up at Mahoba, training every day, eating one meal of millet and yogurt, sleeping on the bare ground. Across central India to the west, a young Rajput king was rising. His name was Prithviraj Chauhan. He ruled from Delhi and Ajmer. He was famous, ambitious, and ruthless. He had defeated kingdom after kingdom. By 1182, he had decided that Mahoba should be next. He prepared a great army of Rajput. He marched east. The Chandela court at Mahoba prepared for war. The astrologers at the court warned that this would be the prophesied battle. King Parmal, a kind but cautious king, wanted to negotiate. The young brothers Alha and Udal disagreed. They said, "My king, if we do not stand at the border of Bundelkhand, our enemies will be at our door." But before the war, something terrible happened. King Parmal, in a moment of anger, insulted Alha and Udal in his court. He said that they were only paid soldiers. He said that without him they would be nothing. Alha bowed his head and said nothing. Udal, the wild one, the younger one, could not bear it. He threw down his weapons. The brothers walked out of Mahoba. They went to the neighboring kingdom of Kannauj, where their cousin Malkhan was a general, and they swore they would never fight for Parmal again. King Parmal regretted his words the same evening. He sent messenger after messenger to call them back. The brothers refused. The Chauhan army crossed the western border of Bundelkhand. When word reached Devki, their mother, that her sons had abandoned Mahoba, she did something the legend has never forgotten. She had a chair carried out into the courtyard of her small house. She sat on it. She covered her head with the end of her sari. She refused to eat. She refused to speak. She said only one sentence when a messenger came, "Tell my sons that until Mahoba is defended, their mother is dead. Tell them to come home." When the brothers heard, in the king's hall at Kannauj, that their mother had stopped eating, they did not finish their conversation. They mounted their horses. They rode all night across the plains of Bundelkhand. They reached Mahoba at dawn. King Parmal met them at the gate, in tears, and asked their forgiveness. They forgave him in silence and went to find their mother. She rose from her chair when she saw them. She ate one mouthful of rice. The battle was fought near a place that became known as Battisi Imli, the field of 32 tamarind trees. The Chauhan army outnumbered the Chandelas by perhaps 3 to 1. The terrain was flat. There was no place to hide. The two armies met in the morning. The fighting lasted all day. Alha and Udal fought side by side in the center of the line. They killed many. They were wounded many times. By late afternoon, the Chandela line was breaking. Udal, the younger, was struck through the chest by a Rajput lance. He fell from his horse. Alha rode through enemy lines to reach his brother. He gathered Udal in his arms. Udal smiled at him. He whispered one sentence. The song says, "Brother, I told you Mahoba would not forget us." He died there, in the dust, 24 years old, exactly as the prophecy had said. The Chandela army around them retreated. Alha refused to retreat. He fought on, alone, in the field where his brother lay. He fought, the song says, until the sun went down. He killed so many that the Chauhan generals could not say later how many he had killed. He was wounded too many times to count. The Chauhans began to think he could not die. They began to fear him as if he were not human at all. At the very end of the day, when the battle was clearly lost, when his brother lay dead behind him, Alha was given an unexpected gift. According to the legend, the goddess herself, in the form of an old woman, came to him on the battlefield. She said, "You have served your king. You have served your kingdom. Your brother died. You do not have to. Lay down your sword. Walk away. Live." Alha did the unthinkable thing. He laid down his sword. He walked away from the field. He went home to his mother. He buried his brother. And then he disappeared. Some say he became a wandering ascetic in the forests of Bundelkhand. Some say he is still alive, an old immortal warrior, somewhere in the hills, waiting for the next time his country will need him. The court poet of Mahoba, a man named Jagnik, who survived the battle, composed an oral epic about the brothers, the Alha Khand. It was sung at every village fair in Bundelkhand for the next 800 years. It is still sung today, in some districts of Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh, by men with a particular kind of voice, very loud, very rough, in the open air, on summer evenings. The song does not have a printed text. Each singer remembers it. Each singer adds to it. 800 years of singers have kept Alha and Udal alive. Tomorrow's story comes from another corner of India. Subscribe to walk with us through the folklore of every region, in your language.